So the Liberal Party has a new leader, Sussan Ley. The former deputy is now the leader of the opposition, the toughest of political jobs in the toughest of times. And the Liberals have done what Labor has never done, that is, elect a woman as leader from opposition. The only woman to lead Labor was Julia Gillard, who knifed Kevin Rudd when he was Prime Minister and was later knifed by him in return, of course. So Ley's ascent is not just a first for the Liberals, but a significant moment for women in the major parties. And the achievement wasn't lost on her as she shared some personal trauma today.
I want to acknowledge my mum, Angela in Albury. My mum is very sick, and on Mother's Day, before I came up here, I called in to see her and I thought that it might be the last time that I did. She is in end-of-life care, and this week has been tough because I've kept in touch with her and her medical team and my family, and I just wanted to mention my mum this morning, and I know you'll understand that after I've taken all of your questions exhaustively, I will be heading home to be by her side.
We wish Sussan Ley and her mother some special time together. As opposition leader, Ley faces a monumental challenge. She has a remarkable CV, a one-time farmer, agricultural and commercial pilot, tax accountant and tax office executive. Ley is the epitome of a self-made woman. As Deputy Liberal leader, though, she's not been prominent in daily debate, so she won't be familiar to many voters, and many of her colleagues have dismissed her as a political force. Now is her time to deliver. The task is daunting, and after Ley, of course, Ley defeated Angus Taylor by only 4 votes. So the party is almost evenly divided between the Conservatives, who backed Taylor, and the moderates, who rallied behind Ley. Stepping up as her deputy is Ted O'Brien. He's been the climate and energy spokesman and did all the detailed policy work on nuclear. So that's encouraging. And that policy, along with the Coalition's commitment to net zero by 2050, will be top of the list when the party gathers to review and debate policy. Ley was non-committal today.
Now, we need to reduce emissions in this country, and Australia needs to play its part in reducing emissions. That I absolutely sign up to. We also know that if we don't do energy policy well, we can crash the energy grid. We can cripple Australian manufacturing. We can have a situation where sovereign manufacturing capability in this country is going out the door backwards or going overseas, which is what I have seen under Mr Albanese's government. So we have to get energy policy as a whole right, but we have to recognise that we need a strong country that is committed to a manufacturing base that relies on cheap, reliable energy.
Yeah, I've got to say it was a pretty impressive start for Ley today. She offered a confident presentation and she dealt with some tricky issues quite deftly in the media conference, strengthening her support for Israel and showing common sense on the Indigenous flag and welcomes to country. Looking to unify the party behind her, Ley held out an olive branch to those who'd lined up on the other side of the leadership contest.
I welcomed Jacinta into the Liberal Party room this morning with a big hug, and I know many of my colleagues did. Jacinta is an amazing Indigenous Australian, but someone who is a clear and talented communicator. So I want to make it very clear, and I know I have many times, how much we welcome Jacinta into this party room. I will have more to say about the shaping of my shadow cabinet going forward, but I will say this. My shadow cabinet will include people who did support me in this room this morning and people who did not.
As for the returned Labor government, they had a great day today with the swearing in of the new ministry. Always a time of celebration and recognition and, I suppose, affirmation that the hard toil of politics can actually be worthwhile. But it's worth sounding a strong note of caution for Labor and many in the press gallery, I suppose, who are talking about this government being on a trajectory to rival even the Hawke-Keating era. I mean, give me a break. In terms of seats won, this is a huge and historic win by Labor. There's no question about that. So again, congratulations. But that's just politics. Let's not kid ourselves. The Hawke-Keating era changed the nation, modernised the nation, improved the nation with groundbreaking reforms, many supported by the Coalition at the time. The first term of the Albanese government didn't improve the nation at all. It made matters worse. the budget, the electricity grid, foreign affairs posture, social cohesion, our immigration program, all weakened. And I could go on, of course, but the point is the Albanese government did not get on top of any challenge, with the possible exception of seeing inflation lowered. But they always blame that on global factors anyway, and their spending continues to be at record levels. So for this government to be a success, not a political success, not just beating the opposition, but to be a success for the country, to make the country better, it's going to have to do a lot better than it did in its first term. It's got to control spending and repair the budget, cut regulation and boost productivity, give us the reliable and affordable energy it promised, upgrade our defence capability, stand up to China and sort out our tariff woes with the US. Labor can't afford to believe its own publicity. It needs to do much better. And frankly, going on past performance, of course, we can't expect much, which means the coalition needs to get its act together very quickly, because it could be back in the game sooner than a lot of people think.